been a scorching hot day. Now time to sit back and watch BBC London. This is what's coming up. In the midst of today's extreme heat alert, thousands of people in East London and Essex have had no water. It's because of multiple burst water mains last weekend.
So many people going the same thing, struggling without no water. We need help, especially this area.
It's been really difficult, but what's worst is because they don't give us any idea of when this is going to end.
Thames Water says the problem should be sorted by tomorrow, but no promises. Also on BBC London, we ride out with the London Fire Brigade as many grass fires ignite as daytime temperatures in London hit 38 Celsius plus.
I got A star A.
I got 2 A stars and an A.
I got 2 A stars and 2 A's.
Yeah, well done them. And a hat-trick of success as London students top the A-level results table for a third year in a row. And scientists say they've invented the world's first truly green balloon, but I'm not referring to its colour. Good evening, I'm Assad Ahmed. As we experience extreme heat and try to save water through hosepipe bans, thousands of litres of water have been poured away freely in East London. It's because of a series of burst water mains. Residents in and around the area of South Woodford have no water or low water pressure since the weekend. Well, Thames Water's estimate for fixing the 3 burst pipes was initially yesterday. Then it was going to be fixed today. Now they say it'll be done tomorrow. Aisha Baksh reports from the area.
Waiting for water supplies on another hot day. Thousands of Thames Water customers across East London and Essex have been without water all week.
You don't have any water? Would you like some water?
Nearly 3,000 of them are in Redbridge, and the local council here says they've been so frustrated by the company's response, they've taken to delivering water supplies themselves. It's day 5 now of this water shortage across Redbridge. What's the council's reaction to that?
I think we're just utterly shocked by the response of Thames Water, and there's not been much sense of urgency. So we've stepped up where we think Thames Water could have been doing more. We're now delivering door to door to the 2,700 residents that are still affected by this. So they've not had any water since Sunday, and we have open showering facilities across the borough as well.
Along this street in Hainault, the water supply has been either very low or non-existent. And for local residents, it's been an incredibly challenging time.
When I know that maybe the water is not going to come in that much, I have to fill the bucket. I have to go to buy the water in the shop all the time for kids to drink.
And you've been getting the water from where?
Anywhere and everywhere, supermarkets, online. Tesco.
So not from the Thames Water?
The queues have been horrendous. Yesterday we ventured out and the queues were just, 2-3 hours in this heat. It's unbearable. Because we need water in this weather. So it's really, really bad.
What aspects are you finding particularly difficult? I mean, you mentioned a few of them. What about yourself?
Everything. From, the bathroom to the kitchen. Basically, so it is impossible. You can cope with it for a few hours, perhaps a day, but this is getting on to 3-4 days. Out of the question.
Thames Water said the problem was caused by multiple burst water mains in Woodford and Chigwell last weekend. They've now been repaired, but supplies are still affected. Some people have got their water back, but in parts of Redbridge, many are still waiting. Well, people have been coming here all day to collect crates of bottled water, and Thames Water say that their staff and engineers are working tirelessly to restore all supplies as quickly and as safely as possible. But for people here, given these temperatures, it's still a hugely challenging issue. Thames Water have now said water supplies should return by Friday, but locals here say they'll believe it when they see it. Aisha Baksh, BBC London.
So for good reason, an amber heat health alert for extreme heat was issued for today, and it remains in place until the end of tomorrow. It topped 38 Celsius in Kew as we experience the 5th heatwave of the summer. Well, emergency services have been busy, with the London Fire Brigade being stretched and dealing with a lot. Spending the day with them in Romford was Carl Mercer. Watch what happened.
What's come in has been determined as a 4-pump attendance, which is basically 4 fire engines will be attending this call initially. Our firefighters working in these conditions can be absolutely exhausting and really punishing on the body.
We're on board with Deputy Assistant Commissioner Chris Jenner, in charge of 27 fire stations across North East London. We're on our way to yet another grass fire. 20 firefighters are here at a job that's getting ever more familiar. It's one of more than 500 grass fires in this area in the last 4 years. So it's just after 3 o'clock. We're at a place called Berwick Pond in Rainham, and there's crews here from Dagenham, from Harold Hill, from Hornchurch and from Wennington. About a hectare of land went up here about half an hour ago, and as we talk, actually there's another truck just arrived behind us, and you can see crews behind me now. They're going to be damping down for the next hour or so, making sure this land doesn't go up in flames again.
There's a whole area they've got to cover here, and they will pay particular attention to the smoking you can see there, but they'll also go around the border edge as well to ensure that any unburnt areas are completely damped down to avoid it spreading.
Nearby there were 2 more grass fires at the same time, nearly 20 across the capital today.
And as I say, the fire was travelling that way. It was working towards the academy, which obviously they worked hard to try and get a break in front of that side there.
Is this where the seat of fire had started?
Yeah, it seemed to be over this side, and it was kind of there.
The scorched ground can be seen all over this area. 2 weeks ago, just down the road in Romford, fields were alight and grassland, threatening homes nearby.
As you see, we've just come down a very narrow pathway to get here. On the day, obviously crews are faced with trying to get hose, various equipment down to this part, which they battled through. We're standing here now and we can see how hot it is, but on the day it was incredibly harsh conditions. It was a very rapid spreading fire. As we know, the locality is very close to properties, and there's a school right behind us as well.
The way the brigade tackles grass fires has changed dramatically since the Wennington fire just 4 years ago. Chris Jenner was one of the first on the scene that day.
At one point there, we were a crew of 5 trying to stop the fire, and the only thing that wasn't alight was the road that we were actually stood on. We were surrounded by a field one side and residential properties the other, and it was really, really challenging circumstances. I think it was a real organisational point of actually our risk is changing, so we need to learn from these incidents, which is what you can see today.
This is some of the new kit, a so-called TSV, or Terrain Support Vehicle, one of 4 the brigade has spread across London.
This is the back end of the incident that I was in charge of.
It helps people like Paul McLennigan, Havering's Borough Commander, showing us round today a site of one of his recent grass fires.
And as you can see around, there's lots of dry land around here, and the more sustained long period of weather that we're having like this, it's just going to get worse, because it's a tinderbox ultimately.
Which means, with little sign of substantial rain to come, that the challenges remain big ones for London's firefighters. Carl Mercer, BBC London.
OK, more now on this afternoon's train derailment. It was a train from London Victoria to Eastbourne, which came off the tracks between Lewes and Haywards Heath. Well, Megan Owen is at Victoria Station for us this evening. Megan.
Well, obviously most of the disruption is clustered in Lewes, but we have seen somewhat of an impact here at Victoria Station, with a few trains cancelled to Lewes in the middle of rush hour. Now, Network Rail and Southern Rail did confirm the train was travelling from Victoria just before 2:30. It derailed about an hour and a half later. Major disruption is expected until about 10 p.m. on routes including between Orr, Eastbourne and London Victoria. Passengers on those routes are advised to plan their journeys accordingly and to allow extra time for travel, but generally Southern Rail passengers are being advised not to travel. Now, we know that emergency services are at the scene in Lewes dealing with that incident, but yeah, the message very much is check online, check your journeys to make sure that they are still running.
OK, Megan Owen at Victoria Station, thanks for that update, and we certainly will keep across what's going on. Many thanks. Well, this is your news for London and the home county. Still to come, the world's first truly green balloon has been invented by scientists in London. We've been finding out how they've done it. And it takes more than the weather to put the Chelsea pensioners off a picnic. They were joined by other veterans. The head of the Metropolitan Police has defended his officer's investigation into double murderer Simon Levy, who was sentenced yesterday to a full life term in prison with no chance of parole. Levy was on bail and being monitored by police when he murdered Carmenza Valencia Trujillo and Cheryl Wilkins in London last year. He also violently raped another woman. Our Home Affairs correspondent is Sonia Jessup.
A dangerous predator left free to attack and kill women after failings across the criminal justice system. The Met was supposed to monitor Simon Levy after he was released from jail, but he went on to carry out sex attacks on the tube, violently rape one woman and murder two others, Carmenza Valencia Trujillo and Cheryl Wilkins.
You're under arrest on suspicion of murder, okay? Do not have to say anything.
The Met's commissioner says the force did make mistakes, but criticises the courts for repeatedly releasing Levy on bail. Today, his frustration clear over what he said was a lack of funding for the criminal justice system.
How many registered sex offenders, Nick, do you think there are in London? It's currently 10,800. In 3 months' time, it'll be 100 more. 3 months after that, it'll be 100 more. It's growing by 100 every 3 months. Now, meanwhile, the Met that I lead today is 4,000 people smaller than it was 4 years ago. This is a systematic disinvestment by successive governments.
You're under arrest on suspicion of murder, okay? What?
Sir Mark Rowley said the case of Levy shows the rule of law is in a very precarious state. He said some court cases won't be heard till 2030. That electronic tagging is pointless, with no penalties for breaches. And one sex offender, he said, was recently released on bail to an address 2 doors down from his victim. But the Met is still under fire for the failings over Levy, including from Mina Smallman, whose daughters Bieber and Nicole were murdered in 2020. The Met was criticised for being too slow to respond to them going missing, and 2 officers were jailed for taking photos of the crime scene.
After reading this case, I sent a text message to Sir Mark and said to him, how many times are you going to stand up publicly and apologise for failures in the Met? It becomes a joke.
This afternoon, the Director of Public Prosecutions apologised for failings over Levy, but said different parts of the justice system should stop taking shots at each other. Sonia Jessup, BBC London.
Students in London have scored a hat-trick. For the 3rd time in a row, they've got the best A-level results in the country. Over 30% of them got top A-star grades, while students who took T-levels, which is an equivalent technical qualification, have also done exceptionally well. Here's Chris Legg.
I got A-star A.
I got 2 A-stars and an A.
I got 2 A-stars and 2 A's.
At Islington Collegiate Sixth Form, each A-level envelope brought tension before the moment of truth.
Okay.
For many, it was good news.
So I got a B in chemistry, an A in economics, and a B in mathematics.
For others, this morning was a family affair.
We're triplets.
We got the results we needed.
And we're all heading to university.
We stand up for each other no matter what happens. So if one fails, we all fail. We're in this together. But if one succeeds, we all succeed.
And I'm just really happy to head into a university that's just going to be really help me develop creatively and find who I'm truly.
It means a lot because I can go into my new adventures and go into pursue new opportunities. And I'm going at UCL to study geography.
Let's get the quiz.
Today was also T-level results day. Unlike many A-levels, these include hands-on experience.
We have more proteins.
And work placements, like the one Madjay and Sem did here at the Francis Crick Institute.
The 9-week placement we do at the Crick, I think, was my favourite part. Working in the fermentation department with my colleagues was absolutely amazing.
Now, a 4-year degree apprenticeship awaits with Manchester Met and the Crick. How will this differ from doing a traditional degree at a conventional university?
Yeah, so the main difference is that they will get to spend 4 years working in the industry that the degree relates to. So I think unfortunately a lot of university students will go and do the degree, but they won't necessarily have an idea of what working in that industry or that organisation actually looks like. Whereas these students will have had 4 years working here and actually being in a lab and learning about working in biomedical research. So I've talked about how proud I am of you both. Are you really proud of yourselves?
Post-degree, perhaps a job here at the Crick. How does that feel?
If I'm being honest, it's quite daunting, but really, really exciting. Just knowing the science that goes on here, knowing the work that the researchers do, and knowing that I can be a part of that, it's just really ecstatic.
I needed 3 A's and I got 3 A's.
So, results known. Now it's on to the next life chapter.
Well done and congratulations.
Chris Slegg, BBC London.
Yeah, so many students have done well today, and congratulations to them. Others may not have quite got the grades they were after, but still lots of options available for them. Let's hear now from Bryony Williams, who's at the University of East London. Bryony.
Yes, I'm at the clearing hub here, where people have been taking phone calls from 8 o'clock this morning, mainly from students who perhaps when they got their grades today weren't the ones that they were expecting. Speaking to people here to get onto courses at the University of East London with the grades that they do have. Now, Vanessa Vargas is from the university. What happens when they take their call here?
We've had such a busy day today, and I always love clearing day because it's a combination actually of a whole year of work. We have a whole team here collecting calls and queries from students, and they talk to admissions advisors, students, graduates, lecturers, all about different queries. And so if students have questions and queries about tariff points, or they've got mixed qualifications, or they've changed their career destination, they can call in and talk to students and staff and figure out their next steps.
You said a busy day. How many students come through clearing that go on to courses here at the university?
Well, we accept year on year about 20% of our students come through the clearing process. However, I think actually the term clearing is a misconception, because what we find is actually those that contact us on the day we've been in contact with throughout the year. So this is not just a one day, this is a combination of engagement throughout the year. And so what we're seeing this year in different trends is students are starting to call in with more careers advice and careers destinations to maybe change their course direction.
And we can't get away from the fact that student fees run into the thousands. So this is a financially significant day for the university too.
Yeah. And as students receive their results today, this is a step and a milestone to their next destination. And I know there's a lot of debate out there on the value of a degree and the cost of higher education. However, often many externally look at it just as a tuition fee. However, there's a whole ecosystem around it that supports students. So my one piece of advice to students is right from the beginning of their degree all the way beyond graduation, we are here to help them get into their career destination.
Thanks very much, Vanessa. Well, the phone lines are open till 8 o'clock this evening, and I'm sure at universities across the capital they'll be open for the next few days.
Yeah, they certainly will be, Bryony. Thanks very much for that. Now, scientists in London say they've invented the world's first truly green balloon. Well, when I say green balloon, what I actually mean is an environmentally friendly, fully biodegradable party balloon. Normal ones, you see, can take years to break down. But the clever people at Imperial College London, well, they've made one that breaks down in months. Great news when it comes to reducing polluting plastics. Here's Lakshmi Gopal.
In some parts of the ocean, it's estimated that there are now over 1 million pieces of plastic for every square mile.
Highlighting how plastic pollution harms wildlife, the series Blue Planet 2 sparked action against single-use plastics such as straws. Now, there's action against the environmental impact of another everyday item.
How green is this balloon? Not very, according to a team at London's Imperial College who've invented a fully biodegradable balloon.
Juliana Cumming is the co-inventor of BioLoon. It was the mission of high-end party planner Charlotte Melia.
We'd just hosted a large event and I was surrounded by thousands of pop balloons at the end of the party, and that was the straw that broke the camel's back.
So, how is it made?
We have a modified natural rubber, and we just cut bits off of that, and that's what's in here. And we have a biodegradable semi-crystalline polymer, which is just in here. We blend them together in a solution, and then we have something which looks like this. And we pour it into this dish, and we leave it to evaporate. It's a really thin film, and this contains a cross-linking agent. So we've just put this in the oven, 50 degrees, and we just leave it there for 10 minutes.
This really is like cooking, isn't it?
It is, yes.
After different versions of material proved too stretchy or too stiff, this one was just right.
And there you go, that's looking more like a balloon.
It's hoped it'll pose less risk to wildlife. A recent study found that balloon fragments were the marine debris most likely to kill seabirds that ingested it. The biolume researchers say while standard balloons can take many years to break down, theirs should fully biodegrade within 9 months.
A regular balloon, you need to add in sulfur and other additives which prevent it biodegrading and cause toxic chemicals to leach into the environment. Whereas our balloon, we start with biodegradable materials and we join them together just with what is present in there, so it retains the biodegradability, so there's no additives.
Despite using a different process, the team claims it would be no more expensive and, what's more, would be easier to blow up than a traditional balloon. As for the materials use, the sky's the limit.
We're starting with balloons, but we hope to work into gloves, surgical and non-surgical latex, medicinal apparatus and medicinal balloons, clothing and even condoms in the future.
The team says the new, greener balloons will be produced commercially within the next 2 years. Lakshmi Gopal, BBC London.
Now, thousands of people were outdoors, of course, last night, around this time yesterday, for the partial solar eclipse. And you sent us lots of your pictures of your experience. Thank you for doing that. Siobhan Walker has shared her view from southwest London, which is great. And the skies were looking moody with Brian Burgess, there you go, near Luton. He's used the colander, which I was using yesterday. Not the same one, but one similar. Terry Slade in Slough shared this artistic shadow. And the moon was arching through the sky with Marie in Southend. And Angela King's loved ones, like many of us, enjoyed the view through that colander. Great idea. Well, with it being as hot as it was today, probably not the ideal day for a pensioners' picnic, but the Chelsea pensioners are no ordinary folk. They're a tough lot. And so there was no cancelling their get-together in the grounds of the historic Royal Hospital, Chelsea. They were with fellow veterans from across the armed forces, and Matt Graveling was there too.
What better way to spend a summer's day than having a picnic? But this isn't just your blanket on the floor with a couple of sandwiches. Today brings together music, military, and most importantly, memories.
Lots of memories, dances, fancy dresses and all those kind of things.
Ruth is 102. She proudly tells me she still does her daily Wordle, but it was her time in the forces that brings her here today, which began aged 17, volunteering as a Wren.
They're all so friendly, they're all like, it's like being in the forces, you talk to them all, whether they know you or not.
And Ruth is just one of 500 veterans visiting Royal Hospital Chelsea for this special lunch. The site was built in 1682 by King Charles II to look after veterans, a purpose it's been used for ever since.
Whether you've been in a war zone or just generally serving in the forces, you go through something different and you build up that camaraderie and the brotherhood.
The Chelsea Pensioners Veterans Outreach hold events every single week. They say that for people who engage with other veterans, their well-being is 85% better than those who don't. But this is their showpiece event. It's in its 4th year, and I can tell you the spread is pretty good.
It's year on grown. Last year we had about 250. This year we believe we've got about 500. We found about 47% of our veteran attendees for our outreach activities are experiencing some degree of loneliness in their lives. So I think what we're doing, trying to address that, is the right thing to do.
David is one of almost 300 Chelsea pensioners who live on the site.
When you're on your own, you can go down that hole, like, you know, and it's lifted me right up, and I'm in a happy place now. Yeah.
And singing.
And singing, yeah.
Well, you better get to the stage.
Thanks very much. Thank you.
But playing us out is 102-year-old George. He showed me the tiny harmonica he bought at Clapham Junction in 1936. It toured Burma with him. He played it to keep spirits high.
Makes me feel very proud to meet so many members who gave their lives and their careers for the benefit of the world.
Matt Graveling, BBC London.
Yeah, great bunch of people, the Chelsea pensioners. Now let's get the weather forecast with Jennifer. And I see that's Kew Garden behind you, which I understand is one of the hottest places today.
Yes, in fact, it is the hottest place in the country.
Wow.
And it's the hottest day of the year so far as well. We've had those temperatures rising through the afternoon. This current hot spell really difficult out there in the heat. Temperatures today, 38.1 degrees is the high that we've seen at Kew Gardens this afternoon. That's the 5th hottest day on record in the UK. Now tomorrow it is going to be dry and sunny and it is going to be hot once again, but those temperatures not quite as high as they've been today. This is the bigger picture as we head through Thursday into Friday, and signs that a cold front is going to be coming our way. That will bring a little bit of relief from those temperatures, but not until the weekend. Now this is the overnight picture, clear skies once again, and it is going to be a very hot night. The temperature in some places not getting much lower than 20 degrees Celsius. That is considered a tropical night and really very uncomfortable for sleeping. It also means that first thing on Friday morning, it's going to be a very warm start to the day. And because we've got all of that sunshine yet again, those temperatures will be rising, but crucially not as hot as they've been this afternoon. Still 33, 34 degrees, very hot, but the wind direction subtly changing to a more northwesterly, and that will have an impact on the temperatures going forward. Now, as we head through Friday night into Saturday, here's that cold front and it's bringing some outbreaks of rain. Not a lot of it, but we'll take anything that we can get at the moment. Temperatures overnight Friday into Saturday, 17 to 19 degrees Celsius. Now, if it has been too hot for you over the last few days, the weekend is going to be much more comfortable. We have a bit more cloud on Saturday, especially into the afternoon. We will have those temperatures in the afternoon, 26, 27 degrees. So a real noticeable difference from the temperatures we've seen today. And the temperatures will be coming down further as we head into the start of next week, but 26 degrees still well above average for this point in August.
Yeah, still warm, but like you said, we'll take anything we can as far as rain's concerned, even if it is a bit. Thank you, Jennifer. Well, that's it. I'm back at 10:30 with our late news tonight on BBC One. On behalf of the BBC London Early Evening News team, have a good evening. Bye-bye.